how to build a pipeline of baby boomers who are looking to downsize in your market area using free and very low cost methods. This video was inspired by a conversation I had on Facebook with a part-time real estate agent in California. And though he is a part-time agent and was reaching out for some thoughts or feedback or strategy on how he could, in his words, drum up some real estate business, these strategies and best practices and the tactical step-by-step that I'll be sharing here is useful and valuable, whether you're full-time, part-time, or you're already a top producer or you're brand new and just starting out. Now, this will be part one, probably, of a multi-part video series. And today, as I mentioned, we're going to focus on free and very low-cost ways that you can build out that pipeline. For those of you who don't know, my name is Josh Schoenly. I am a dual licensed real estate agent with eXp Realty and loan originator with Nexa Mortgage. And I would love to connect and chat with you about how we can partner together to grow your business. You can schedule a time at josh15.com or just check out the information you will likely find in the description. Before we get into the how-to, and this is going to get very tactical today, before we do that though, I want to highlight some reasons why I recommended Alan focus on this niche, this client avatar of baby boomers and potential downsizer. Number one, first and foremost, there are, I believe, on average, 10,000 people every day in the United States turning 60 years old. A majority of these people own a home, and a majority of these people have equity, meaning they have the ability to sell. Not only that, but I'll share some statistics. This is data directly from the I'll include a link to this full report below for those that like to dig into this stuff. You can see the breakdown of the age brackets here on page 6 of the report. And then on page 7, you can see that for sellers from young to old boomers and including the silent generation, that's 50% of listings. And not quite that much on the buyer side, but it's a significant amount of transaction opportunities. And it is projected only to grow as part of the quote unquote silver tsunami over the next 10 to 15 to 20 years. In other words, not only is this a great niche and client avatar for you to start working with today, but the trends would indicate that this will be a great client avatar and niche for the future in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years as well. And a whole bunch of reasons why this is a great niche. It's a 2 transaction side opportunity, maybe even more. They need to sell. They're looking to buy. Even if they're looking to relocate and retire somewhere warm, there are a referral opportunity. Lots and lots of reasons why this niche is a good one to focus on. And when you help them, they may have children who they can refer you to, and more opportunities come from that as well. So how do we do this in a way, as I promised, a no cost or free methodology and very low cost? I want you to think about this. You need to start with the end in mind. You need to start with the end in mind. And what I mean by that, when you're trying to attract clients to you, when you're trying to build a pipeline of new business, the bait that you put out, using a fishing analogy, the bait that you put out will have a direct correlation with the fish that you're catching. And so we need to utilize, as part of these strategies, like this is part one, right? This is part one. The bait we need to utilize is the type of properties that this audience would be looking to downsize into, to transition into. And there are 2 ways that I would recommend you utilize these baby boomer and downsizer clients. Now, if you're thinking or wondering, well, what if I don't fit what they're looking for? There are a couple of different strategies that you can use to get those listings and have permission to borrow those listings. One in particular that I will recommend is a service called New Home Source Professional. You can create a free account. You can right here, sign up today at New Home Source Professional, create your profile as a real estate agent, and then the inventory on this site, is available for you to use to market. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And I already have a property picked out that we are going to utilize to start generating some leads and inbound opportunities. I'm going to search for my county, the county I live in, which is Cumberland County. And I identified, where did it go? Bear with me. We need to, right here. Okay. So this is a single story home. It's in a very low maintenance community with a lot of great amenities for the baby boomer or potential downsizer. The property is listed on here, which means the builder has essentially given consent to anyone that creates, any agent that create an account on here to utilize this in their marketing. I also did a little research and legwork. Oh, you can see it here, and found some better imagery of this property. Okay. So once we have the listing that we're going to use, the inventory that there are several strategies, one completely free and one very low cost that I am going to deploy with this listing. Now, if you need more inventory, and that you can do this process that I'm going to walk you through today, you can do this on a weekly basis. You can do it on an every other week basis. You could do it once a month. It just depends on how much activity you want to generate and how big of a pipeline you want to build and how quickly, right? So one other way, and I'll include this in the description. One other way that you can borrow listings is I've got an email script that you can send to listing agents of other properties. And also, if you're, for example, with a brokerage like eXp Realty, we have essentially express consent that any listing with eXp Realty can be marketed by other real estate agents. So there are a number of different ways that you can find this inventory, is my point. We want to find properties that are likely to draw the attention of these baby boomers and potential downsizers. Okay, enough on that. Here's what we're going to do first. The first thing we're going to do is create a Facebook marketplace listing for this property. And Facebook marketplace is 100% free. So we're going to go over to Facebook Market. And again, I said this is going to be very tactical. So you're going to watch over my shoulder as I do this stuff. And who knows, maybe I'll release a little update in a few days with how many leads we've generated from the activity from the day. I'm going to click create new listing, and I'm going to try to choose home for sale or rent. I think my bubble was in the way. So the first thing I need is to add photos or video. Now, you could create a little video for this. In fact, yesterday, we did a mastermind on short form video content, and you might also test creating a short form video for the listing that you're going to utilize here and test that within your Facebook marketplace ad and with the next step that we're going to take with this. But to keep this short and sweet today, we're just going to use static images. So I'm going to go back to the listing here, and I need to try and minimize, get myself out of here. There we go. And I'm going to take the listing here. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. I'm going to go to take a screenshot of that. And then I'm going to scroll through these pictures here and see if anything else is jumping out at me. We tend to and recommend that you use three images on your listing, because one of the reasons or one of the ways that you're going to turn the eyeballs, people looking at the listing, into leads is for them to request or be interested in getting more details, including all of the photos. So I'm going to go and I'm going to find my screenshots that we just took here. It's these. And while those are uploading, I'm going to choose for sale here. It says home for sale or rent. For sale. It's a house. Number of bedrooms. It is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. This is something that you can test. I have tested, for example, a number like I think this is listed at 534. You will get way more leads, but you also get a lot of hate and frustrated people if you don't. So you can test either one. If you want a more volume of leads and dealing with the quote unquote hate, I would try $1 for, but what I have found is, and I've got a big enough pipeline now, then I would rather have fewer that understand what the price is and are reaching out because they want more details, which would be, indicating that they are more likely to really, truly be in. And we can use things on a new construction, for example, that create curiosity, like, do you want the floor plan and all the other pictures, et cetera. So I'm actually going to open this up on the MLS because I was looking at this morning and I don't think the price reflected here has caught up with the syndicated price here. So we'll just verify in a second, and I'll need some information from here for the next step in this process as well, which is running some ads, some very low cost ads to generate leads as well. Oh, I'm going to find that. Yeah, see, they dropped it again at $9.90. So I'm going to go back over here to Facebook Marketplace. In some cases, especially with new construction, the actual address won't show up. So I am going to try to put the city that this property is in, Boiling Springs, PA. See if we can get that to populate. It doesn't want to cooperate with us. 10707. Not either. Well, this community of Allenbury. I am striking out here. One Allenbury. Let's just try Allenbury. Allenbury Court. You know what? We're just going to Allenbury Court. Oh, that's interesting. Now it's showing Boiling Springs. There it is. So there's Boiling Springs. And so it doesn't matter a whole lot, but you do want there to be a map of the general area. You can see the location here. Now, I don't know why this says the price per month and the rental location. For whatever reason, it defaults to rent, even though I chose that it is for sale. Don't worry. The square footage is 15. So 11. The laundry type in unit. It's got garage parking. It's got central air. It's got central heating. And now the last thing that we have to do in creating the listing is we need the property description. And I have a specific formula that I like to follow. And rather than me create it from scratch, I'm just going to pull up my marketplace again here in a different tab. And I'm going to pull up one of the listings that I have for available. And we're just going to copy and make some tweaks to that listing. So I'm going to go edit list. And I'm going to paste it here. And now we've got to make some edits to it. This guy out of the way here as well. We're not having an open house. It is a new construction home for sale. So try and make that. To get all details, floor plan, community info, and more about this property, and search all properties in Central PA, go to. Now, I am using a link here that is a resource that I will be recommending and walking you through next. But I want to keep this completely free and show you how you can do this completely free. There's a small fee to the service that we use to build this link out. But again, I want to keep this 100% free for all of you. So all I'm going here, okay, this is on New Home Source Professional, and refresh my memory. If I scroll down, right here, if I scroll down and then on the right-hand side, it says, and the link is now copied. And what's very cool about this is, and you'll see this when I paste this in here, you can see that this is my link because the website is showingnew.com/Josh Schoenly/home/Pennsylvania/Harrisburg. I don't know why I put Harrisburg because it's Cumberland. It doesn't really matter. And then you can see that it is I think this is the model of the home, and then the street address, and then a number identifier there. Okay. So we've got that pasted in there. And then I have the other call to action and the PS, right? We want to include another, incentivize another reason why someone might want to reach out about this. And in this one, did you know there are at least 4 options available right now to buy a home with 0 down payment? That might or might not be relevant to this listing and the clientele that we're trying to attract. I'm going to tweak it. Did you know with our buy before you sell program, you can buy a home before selling your current home? Shoot me a DM. Now I could play with that and make it a little bit more compelling, but for the interest of time here, I want to keep this moving along. So now I've got all of this listing completed. We're going to click, we're going to click, oh, I went to the wrong one. What happened? There we go. Next. I don't know why this keeps popping up for me. It keeps wanting to try and use my rebrandly link for one reason or another. And we're going to close out of this. So the next and most important thing before we publish is we need to share the listing into Facebook groups. This is how we get traffic and more eyeballs on the listing and therefore create more opportunities for leads and conversations through the process. So I'm going to go through, and I would recommend that when you do this, you pick anywhere from 3 to 5, at most 10, no more than 10. So I'm going to choose, I'm going to use this one. What did I choose? I'll choose one more and then I'm going to hit publish. Now, if you don't know, how to join groups, if you just go to facebook.com/groups and you search for local groups, you'll find an endless number of them. I would find ones that have a lot of members of the group, start there. Some of them have rules and regulations against you posting listings like this. Just find the ones that are okay with it, or just be okay with the fact that you might end up getting removed from the group. It's the deal. Who cares, right? So that's it. There you go. And when you're doing that, you also identify, for example, I posted this one last week. I checked this morning. It's still actively listed. So it's listing. And I could even go to this little ... here, and I can list it in more places. So I can go and find, are there any other groups that I belong to that it would make sense to share to? So I'm just going to pick one there and I'll post it there. You will generate leads in a couple of different ways using this strategy. Number one, a very small percentage of people will call or text you from the number that you put in the listing. A small percentage, but those are very motivated people. A small percentage will copy and paste the link that is in the listing. And I say copy and paste because it will not hyper for you. It's just the way Facebook Marketplace operates. They do with links, but it's why that we include directions, copy and paste in browser right there. And people will do that. And in fact, with the tool that I'm going to show you next, when you use that link, we've found that we actually get a significant amount of people that will copy and paste that and fill out their name, email, and even phone number to become a lead in your database. And the last way that you'll get leads through this process is people will directly Facebook message you. And this is a good thing. That's like a direct conversation. It's like the closest thing to, people text messaging you besides them actually text messaging you. And if you do this strategy and you do it once a week and you are consistently following up and following through with those leads, you can slowly build out a line. I will tell you, well, slowly in some cases, but for some of you, you may quickly build out a pipeline because, we've seen anything, I've created and followed this process like this and generated no leads from a listing. I've done it and I've generated with some of them into the 20 and even 30 plus leads, one listing, right? But you've got to do it consistently to find the winners, to get that activity. You'll see ebbs and flows with the time of year, etc. So that's the completely free way for you to start building out a pipeline of baby boomers who might be thinking about downsizing or right sizing. The low cost strategy that I would recommend, if you have a budget of say $30 to $50 per week, okay, you could do it for less if you want to, but I would say, to really get traction, $30 to $50 per week. Here is what I would recommend and what you should follow with that process. Number one, you should get a free trial with listings to leads. And you can use my link to get a longer trial at growwithjosh.com/L2L. You will get a longer trial. I think their standard trial is 14 days, but I've got a 30-day, look at that, 30-day free trial. I thought it was 21. I just got you 16 extra days. Listings to leads is one of my favorite marketing tools for real estate agents. It's one of the few things out there that I would say far over delivers for the cost. Cheap. The pricing here you can get started at a very low number and you can scale up as necessary. Okay. And with a 30-day trial, you can get, you can start building out your pipeline and generate a whole bunch of results before you even have to make your first payment with listings to leads. So here's what I'm going to do with the platform. We're going to enter, getting listing loaded up into the platform. And then I'm going to show you the link that you would use if you're going to use this platform instead of the showing new link that we have in the marketplace ad. And then we're going to create a Facebook ad to start generating more leads as well. And I'll show you the results of an ad that we've had running for the last week and what you can expect from that. So on the left-hand to listings. And it takes a little bit to load up because there's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like every time a listing is created, there's a lot of things going on because it creates a lot of marketing collateral. So this is some land that I have listed recently, but this is a listing. It's from another EXP agent that I borrowed to generate leads following the very same process I'm showing you here. And I'll show you the results of that one in a minute. But the way I got this listing entered is the same way I'm going to show you how to enter the listing that we're using for this tutorial or demonstration. So I'm going to go add listing and I'm going to choose manual listing. Oh, I lied. We're going to go add listing and we're going to choose grab listing, I think. Add listing, grab listing, not manual. Manual is what you would choose if you're going to manually input a listing. Okay. And there's some use cases for that. For example, if you find a new construction home that's on New Home Source Professional, but for some reason isn't in the MLS, you could add that as a manual listing in listings to leads. But this one is, and so all I have the MLS number back over here. I'm going to paste that in. I'm going to paste or type in the zip code and I'm going to deselect this is my listing because this is not my personal listing. I'm going to click grab. And actually, while that's populating, there's something I should have included, marketplace listing here. And find where I was going to include a listing courtesy, but I'm not seeing it here. I may have to. Yeah. So I'm going to add listing courtesy of New Home Star, Pennsylvania, LLC. I'm going to copy that. And this is a good way to kill some time while that populates because it does take a minute or leads to grab the details and populate all of that information. So I'm going to go back in here. I'm just going to edit it and I'm going to say listing C. And that'll just update the listing. So it's still importing the listing here. And while it's doing that, let's do this. I'm going to pull up my Facebook ad manager dashboard and I'll show you the ad that we have been running for the last week, 201 Valor, off with a $35 budget, for a week. So that's, $5 a day. And here, and it has been working so well that this morning it actually expired. So like it was for a fixed window of time, 7 days and $35. It expired this morning. So I went in and I manually extended the listing. But if I go to maximum here, so we've generated 15 leads for that $35 ad spend, $36 now at $2.42 per lead. Not too shabby, especially when, again, it's the bait that we're throwing out is going to attract the right kind of fish and opportunities coming our way. And so we're going to here. And I don't know why it's taking longer than normal. It could be bogged down. It could be because I'm recording. I'm going to pause for it. We'll resume. Okay. For whatever reason, it took a little longer than normal, but again, still in the grand scheme of things, not too shabby. You can see here that it says your listings were uploaded successfully. It's just one listing. And please click here to edit. So I'm going to click here to edit. I don't really have anything that I want to edit here. I'm going to hit save and start marketing. Now, before we go and create the Facebook and Instagram ad for the listing, let me point out the link that I would recommend you use if you're going to use listings to leads with the Facebook marketplace process. So once you go to market listing, and then you choose post, you're going to use this link right here. Search all properties /information / and then some number. So I'll show you how I update that in the year and listing. And I'm just going to copy, you can paste that one in there and click update. Now, when people go to that, it is more likely to capture a lead. You can capture leads on showing new, but it doesn't work as well. And in fact, I found nothing that works as well as the listings to leads landing page. I've tested using the KV Core single property link. I've tested using other platforms. This one just works the best when it comes to actually capturing the most amount of leads. And that's what we're talking about here. Okay. I'm going to go back over to edit listings and I'm going to choose Facebook and Instagram ads. And this is the easy button to getting your ad live. You don't have to do this in the Facebook Ads Manager. Everybody say it with me, hallelujah. Because the Facebook Ads Manager, even for someone that's been using it for years like myself, can still be extremely confusing and frustrating. I promise you that this is taking longer than normal, and it's got to be because I am recording me doing this. It would normally load much more quickly if we were not recording over my shoulder. Okay, it loaded up here, but I don't want to promote the open house. They're hosting open houses for the listing. So to change that, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say price drop, because this property has had significant price drops on it. It's been several. And in fact, you kind of saw here as we were going through, there's been a drop even since the showing new platform of the new home source professional platform has been updated. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to go back over to the Facebook. Okay, now it's still saying price drop here, but that's okay. I'm going to go and I'm going to choose edit post and we're going to tweak the copy on here a bit. So I'm going to put a megaphone price drop in Boiling Springs. I also have some best practices that I like to follow when creating these ads as I tweak them. So rather than me replicate, again, I'm just showing you over my shoulder how I do all of this stuff. I'm going to go to this ad that was already working, and I'm going to copy and paste some of the details. Grab this. And I'm going to populate that in there. We still have a listing agent. So we're acknowledging they have learn more below all photos, community details here. And I'm going to just tweak this little blurb. We've got the tap learn more again. Going to get rid of that. So now we've got price drop in Boiling Springs, tap learn more, blah, blah, blah. You can read a few other tweaks that we're going to include here to follow best practices. And one of the things I'm actually going to do, I should have copied these from over here. Include hashtags. So we're going to put that there. PA, buyer, listing agent. We've got mechanic expert, PA. I'm going to PA as well. A few more tweaks we're going to make, and then we're going to create ad and rock and roll. I need to, and for the headline, we're going to tweak that. I'm just going to grab what was working here because it was working. Tap learn more. We've got learn more selected. We've got the inted. Everything else looks good. And it's a $35 lifetime budget running for a week. I'm going to hit create ad and let the listings to leads, Facebook and Instagram ad magic do its thing, and it will be live within minutes in my Facebook Ads Manager. Now, I know there was a lot in here, but that's the beautiful thing about video content. You can rewind it. You can watch it as many times as you want. You can slow it down. You can speed it up. And I'm going to include all of the recommended resources. I'll even include the tweaks and anything that we had done here below. And I will also let you know that if you would like more personalized help or to strategize how you might do this in your market for your business, etc., you can schedule josh15.com, josh15.com. And you can also just email, call, or text me. My information will be in the description. I would encourage you to just give this a try. The first time you do it, the first time you do anything is always the hardest. But if you want to build out a pipeline of baby boomers who are looking to downsize or right size in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months, whatever the case may be, these strategies are a great place to start. And I'm going to release some additional training on the next steps, like how might we also layer on direct mail marketing to connect and build a pipeline of this audience? What are some more advanced ad strategies? And this is a big one. Last week, we launched a Google pay-per-click ad campaign to build out our pipeline of these baby boomers and potential downsizers, and the early results have been really encouraging. I'm going to be releasing more of this content on the channel, which means if you're not already subscribed, you should subscribe and turn on the notifications so that when we release part 2 and 3 and maybe even 4 of this little series, that you have access to those and are notified when they're released. So schedule time, let's chat, implement,